Good morning, traders. It is Jonathan van Clute. It is Wednesday, May 1st. This is me and the rest of Stock Navigators wishing you a happy May. Welcome to May Day. For whatever reason it's called that, I don't exactly know, but it is. So let us get into the markets. But real quick before we do, I just want to give you a reminder to please do give me a thumbs up on the video here, please. It's very helpful. And also give me your feedback. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see analyzed or anything you would like explained or could use help with or anything like that. Just put it in the comments below. We'll take a look at it and I will see what I can do to help you out or go over whatever you want to be gone over. With that, let's start by taking a look at what's happening in the S&P 500, since that is generally where I start my analyses. So let me actually zoom out a little bit here and just get the big picture. This is I have two 60-minute charts. Well, that's not going to work. There we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. So on the daily, it should be pretty obvious to anybody who's following the markets right now, but we are right up here at the historic all-time highs. We are right on it. We actually have surpassed them just a very tiny bit. You can see what happened. Price poked up over the previous all-time high and then retreated. So we are in an extremely delicate area here, extremely delicate. The market has been pushing higher and higher and higher. The oscillator has been getting weaker and then flatlined. It has not been able to go any higher, even though price has continued pushing higher. So that is a little bit worrisome. We don't know quite what's going to happen yet, but this is definitely a nervous level for professional traders anyway. Ironically, the market as a whole is not worried at all. The volatility index, the VIX, is just down around record lows. It's definitely on the lowest end of its scale that it's ever been. And that tends to indicate just total complacency in the market, which obviously is not a good thing. But also take a look at something else. We had this trend line here, this beautiful trend line that the market was following, pull back to, pull back to, pull back to. And now we have fallen below that trend line, pulled up to test it, and held below it. Even though price is moving up, the trend angle is rolling over. The angle is changing. So one more thing that just makes me very nervous about jumping on board at this level. Additionally, let's take a look at something else. This is especially for those who just went through our live program the last few days. Take a look at this. From the bottom down here, right? We've got certainly a 1, a 2, and then from there, let's extend and let's see what that looks like. Okay. Whoops, I don't have enough extension lines. Let's fix that. Let me just add 261.8 and just for giggles, let's add 361.8 just for fun. And let me make the labels bigger so we can actually see the price levels. My defaults got all reset recently. All right, so there we have it. 261.8 is right overhead of where we are currently. So we are right in the extension zone for wave 3 to be completely and totally done. So a pullback would be expected here. Now, pullback to where, you might ask? You are hopefully asking. That would be, if this were the top, let's just say that it is, then it would be somewhere. Of course, now I got too many lines. Let me just get rid of this one. All right, it would be somewhere in this area here, which is quite the drop. The market's just been going straight up. I think most people are no longer worried about any kind of down market, and it's just all up, up, up. But a pullback to those levels would be in line with what we expect to see from a wave 3 extension. So, watch out. This is a watch out area for sure. Falling down to 300 points or so would not at all be out of line, and then we could have a push up to a final wave 5, and then things could get significantly more ugly, put it that way. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen, what this market wants to do. But right now, it is in very treacherous territory. That being said, we still have higher highs and higher lows. So this market just refuses to give up. We look at the 60, we're just still marching higher, marching higher, marching higher, marching higher. It's just, it will not let go, will not give up. Now, let's actually see if I go back a little bit here. Is there, actually, let me make this full screen. All right, there we go. So we can see the trend. No question, it's up without a doubt. We have just blown through every conceivable level just with ridiculous consistency here. So market is still up. It's that simple. We can throw a trend line on, let's say here. Just be kind of approximate about it. And there we have it. We are just looking to continue. Whoops. What just happened? Oh, because I am not at the end of my data. There we go. All right. So this market does not want to let go, does not want to pull back. But also, let's look at the 60-minute time frame and notice that price is going higher and higher and higher. Look what the oscillator is doing. Lower and then slightly higher, but still considerably lower than this. So again, the oscillator also kind of not having a lot of momentum behind this. The momentum is kind of stalling out, but it's not there yet. It is still able to push higher. Right now, we really got to see what happens today. In fact, today is going to be a very important day for the market to say, hey, is it going to be able to really push higher, get over this zone, maybe pull back, test it as support, hold it, and push higher? I mean, the market can do what it wants. We know what we're expecting, but ultimately the market does what the market does. So we have to trade in line with that. But right now, there's no question on our 21 EMA here. It is just straight up, very, very sharp trend upwards and still moving. So it's a wait and see. That's all I can really say. It's just a wait and see. We don't know what it's going to do yet, but I couldn't possibly get excited about going long any kind of significant position for any significant time frame at this level. Day trading, yeah, perhaps, but not for any kind of swing trade or anything longer term than that. I would have to wait and see what the market wants to do. Okay, taking a look at crude oil. Oil has also just been in a beautiful uptrend, has pulled back to its 21 EMA, which has been acting as fantastic support. And every time price comes down to it, it just bounces back up, bounces back up, bounces back up, bounces back up. And now we're doing it again. We pulled down through it. We're bouncing back up above it. And now we are looking to hold it as support. That's going to be the important point to watch out for. So we already had on the 60-minute, we had a significant divergence here and there. And that was a very big warning sign of this quick correction here. And that is what brought us to break that or test that trend line. Really, we did break below it and then just bounced right up above it again. And now we're holding there. And we got to see what the market's going to do from there. If it takes out this low, then there could be some continuation to the downside, and maybe we have a bigger correction coming. But right now, anyway, it's looking like the trend kind of it wants to continue. We'll have to see. We do have a bit of a divergence happening here, but again, a divergence by itself is not necessarily enough to suddenly take action. We've got to also see a significant level get broken, and right now the 21 EMA is holding. And I don't have a 50 on this chart, but the 50 would be, I don't know, somewhere down here or something like that, and that would be a much more significant level. So if I'm looking for a long entry, I either want to see this hold solidly and march higher, in which case maybe I go long. I can have a stop down here below this level, or if it breaks down lower, I got to see what that 50 does. That's what I would really be watching to see. Is that going to hold and the market go higher? Right now, uptrend though, still holding on, but it's a little bit nervous. We do have the higher high here. Oops, let me get my pen back. Got the higher high, the higher low, the higher high, and we actually broke that higher low, but only briefly, and then popped right back up above it. So it's kind of a delicate level right now, but just watch out for that low. That's what we're watching for as far as any continuation to the downside. And then if we can, of course, take out that high, then we know without a doubt that the market is going to continue higher, and this trend is definitely intact. So that is crude oil. Let's take a look at gold. And gold, for those of you who've been following this for the last, gosh, I don't know, month and a half now, I think I've been saying this. I saw this as a bearish flag pattern, and so I was looking for a continuation of 100%. 100% extension. So I went ahead and plotted that, kept only the 100% extension level, and there we have it. So we're not quite there. It got almost to it and then bounced up, and now it's sort of trying to head lower. So are we finally going to get that last little push down to the 100% or not? I don't know. I do know that the oscillator is still got a little strength to the downside. It's a little tiny bit lower than it was when it was back here. So it's not a massive momentum improvement or anything. We don't have huge momentum building, but there is still momentum in this market. It has not evaporated completely. So the possibilities of a little push further down here before then turning around and heading back up, I think it's possible. We've got what's going on the 60 here. We had a little push up, and then it started pushing back down again, failed to make a higher high, and is trying to take out that higher low there. But right now, anyway, it's holding. So it's tough to say exactly what gold is going to do. We're just going to have to watch and see. Right now, the oscillator is kind of building in strength. So even though price went slightly lower here, the oscillator was slightly higher. So a little bit of a bullish bounce might be in order here. But the momentum is definitely on the low side here. There's not This is not huge momentum. It's not like here or back there. So it's kind of a quiet market in that regard right now. We're just going to have to give it a little bit of time to see what it wants to do. I am thinking that 100% level is achievable, but hey, market does what it wants. That might be as close as we're going to get. So kind of a wait and see for that target. But then we can reevaluate from there and see what this market might want to give us, and we can take a look. We can, plot a trend line, which I've done here. We have this previous parallel channel that it was kind of stuck in. And right now, anyhow, that trend line is held. Price broke down below it, popped up back over it, and right now is sitting right at it. So is it going to hold? Is it not? We have a descending trend line here. So we're kind of in a wedge formation or a triangle pattern here. And price is getting squeezed down here. It's going to pop one way or the other. So which way is it going to kind of squirt out? Is it going to squirt to the upside or squirt to the downside and hit our 100% target? We will have to wait and see what the market wants to do. All right, let's take a peek at natural gas, which after just crawling on its belly, down, 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 almost kissing that buy zone, we've had a bounce. So that is not very surprising. That is kind of to be expected. But the question is this really the start of something more? Or are we just bouncing and then we're going to come back down, test the zone proper, and then turn around from there? That is what we don't know the answer to yet. Right now, anyway, the oscillator has been building in strength. See where it was down here when price was at this low, and it has been just building, and then momentum has been very low. This whole down move was on very low momentum. So we see a strong breakout to the upside. That could be the confirmation we need to say, hey, this trend is reversing. It's ready to head back up again. The ultimate confirmation will be a break of those highs there. Then we know that the market has stopped making lower lows and lower highs. It's now broken the previous lower high, failed to make a lower low, etc. On a 60-minute time frame, let me actually zoom out a little bit so we can see it a little more. Whoops, my scaling range is not reset. There we go. So we came down, 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 and then we stopped making lower lows, started making higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and we're trying to continue that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing I don't like. So price tried to go higher, but look at that oscillator. Wow. Serious divergence. It is so much weaker. And now actually we've crossed below the zero line. The bears are in charge, even though price is pushing up. Look where the oscillator is now. So if you consider that, say, a triple top on an oscillator that does that to that to that, that is ugly. That is not a good sign. So for the short term anyway, the 60 is certainly looking like it's going to want to pull back down again, and that this is just the latest lower high in the lower lows and lower highs. So we need to just see how it plays out. But at the moment, anyway, that's what it's looking like. This is looking like a weak market in the short term. So we'll have to see, do buyers actually suddenly come flooding in, step up and start buying this market, or are they still waiting for it to get down into the zone here, the buy zone from way back? All right, let's wrap up with Bitcoin. See what crypto is doing. And Bitcoin is again refusing to go down. Right now, it is just really hanging on to these gains from back here, which is impressive. It's very impressive to me that it has held in here as long as it has, even tried to push higher. But what I don't like is, once again, the oscillator. And price is again trying to push higher, but look, boy, look where the oscillator is now. There's just nothing there. There's no momentum. The trend even has kind of gone sideways, the 21 EMA. So it's not looking pretty right now. But a healthy market does higher highs and higher lows. So I'm okay with that. If it comes down, forms a higher low, as long as it stays above this 44.15 or so level, that's kind of my line in the sand. Realistically, I would love it if it would stay above 5,000, but I think a pullback below 5,000 is probably in order. In which case, I'd ideally like to see it stay above 4,500. That's what I'm looking for. That's a nice psychological level. That 4,500 level, round numbers tend to be very important to traders. Psychologically speaking, we like round numbers. So I want to see it hold above there. And at which point, if it can turn around and head higher, especially if it can break the previous high, then we are ready. Oh boy, I apologize for yawning so much. I am so exhausted after the 4-day class we just finished up. It was so grueling, but so much fun. Okay, so 60-minute time frame, however, uh, right now it's just kind of nowhere. We had that huge push up, and then it's just been sideways. There's really nothing going on. But look at what the oscillator was like on that push up. I mean, it was up at almost 500 on this scale. And I don't really know exactly what this scale is even based on, but it's just a relative scale. But ever since then, I mean, look at that. And that's as high as it's gotten since then. And it's actually been a lot lower in places. So, and right now it's just down here about 1/5 of that amount. So, or actually, it's less than 1/5 of that amount because it's actually down here. So, oscillator is not exactly setting the world on fire. Not a lot of strength, not a lot of momentum behind this. So, I am definitely looking for this move to give up and pull back a bit. We'll just have to wait and see how far that pullback is. And personally, as a crypto bull, my bias is I want to see it hold that 4,500 level or above, and then look to head higher. So that's what I am watching for. All right, let's take a quick peek at the S&P 500 again and just see what's going on. I'm gonna zoom way in on my 16, just take a close look. And the oscillator is rolling over. MACD line has crossed the signal line to the downside. So at the moment, anyway, it's looking like the market kind of wants to come down at roughly midnight or so. That's when Europe came online, and Europe just said, nope, we're selling it. Europe is actually responsible for selling the all-time highs. So will the US follow suit? Will it say, all right, European trader friends, you guys started the ball rolling. We're going to keep pushing it and head downwards? It's a distinct possibility, certainly on a declining oscillator. And at this level, a pullback, as I mentioned earlier, of course, is in order. A pullback is due. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that happen. But hey, market does what the market does. We'll have to wait and see. We might have a crazy morning this morning. The question is, have people piled in overnight to get to the to catch the all-time highs, saying, "Oh, it's a breakout. We're going higher." And is there going to be a flurry of orders flooding in at the open or not, or what? Don't forget also, today is a Fed day. Check your economic calendars. Today also is going to be a potentially weird day because of that. So, combination of things. We've got all-time highs being broken on a Fed day. So, anything goes today. It's going to be a little bit of a weird one potentially. So, might be a good one to just sit back, grab the popcorn, and watch the action. Or, if you're sim trading and you want to just play around, and go for it by all means. Practice a bit and see what happens. But remember that Fed announcement comes out at 11 a.m. Pacific, our time out here on the West Coast, and 2 p.m. Eastern. And then usually it's a minute or two after that time that the market starts to hit the news, or the news hits the market rather. And then everything starts to go a little crazy. So have to see what happens, but it's going to be an interesting one for sure. That is it for me, Jonathan Van Clute with Stock Navigators. One last reminder, please do give me that thumbs up on the video. I would appreciate it greatly, and leave me any feedback you have on the video down below. And I will gladly take a look at it and see what y'all have to say, and I will look forward to helping you out in any way that I can. Right now, I'm going to go get ready for the premium trading room and say hi to everybody who's in there, hoping to see a whole new crop of folks in there from the class that we just finished up. So it's going to be a good one. All right, everybody, until Wednesday, or so today is Wednesday. I'm thinking it's a Monday. It's been so crazy. Until Friday, when I do this again, Friday morning, I will see you then. Until then, trade well. Take care. Bye-bye.